Hi everyone, my name is Kate. I've been working as a freelancer since 2008. For the past 2 years, I've been working with the clients from Europe and the US at Upwork. On this channel, I share my experience as a freelancer, how I work with my clients, and how I organize my work. In today's video, I'm going to talk about 3 critical mistakes that can turn your freelancer's life literally into hell on the earth. 3 worst habits that will make you earn 3 times less money than you would on a regular employment basis, and that would make you spend 3 times more time on every client in particular. So what are these 3 worst habits? Let's find out. So the most popular mistake, number 1, that practically all freelancers do, is offering services at a broad niche. Freelancers take projects where they have only slight experience, and this results in quite many issues. So what do I mean here? For example, let's take a PHP developer. PHP is a very broad technology that can be implemented in multiple areas, such as Laravel, Joomla, WordPress, and many others. So if our freelancer starts answering to the projects and start working with clients in all these areas, he will run into the following issues. Since all these areas are pretty broad, it is very difficult to become an expert in all of them. So once you start digging, you will find out a lot of hidden stones that you have never even guessed there existed. Thus, you will spend lots of time investigating this area, making mistakes, and spend more and more time on every particular task. But the truth is that the extended time expenditure will be the least of your problems. In the worst case scenario, you will simply let your client down, you'll have to cope with his complaints, and eventually you will just spoil your reputation. Also, since I'm talking about Upwork here, it's worth noting that Upwork usually rejects new profiles that do not have a narrow specialization. So if you create a broad niche profile that where you say that you work in this area, that and that you cover practically everything, most likely you will just not get through. This is how Upwork works. They create a really cool catalog of good experts, and they just wouldn't let you in. Now the next question, how narrow should be the niche? Let me explain it at my own example. I'm a cryptocurrency and blockchain writer, so I take this niche of cryptocurrencies. I have studied it inside and out for the past 2 years that I've been working here. I know all the hidden stones, I know what projects there are in this area, what indices they are capable of. So I do not take projects where they require writers to write reviews for this software. I don't take projects where they need writers for IT startups in general. I only answer to those that require blockchain experience. This is what I do and this is how I work, and so far it seems to be the right strategy to me. Also, if you do not have enough expertise in a particular niche, the only thing that you will be left to do to beat other competitors for every particular project is to lower your prices. And this brings us to the next critical mistake, the next worst habit that freelancers have. Now, the second worst habit that freelancers have is getting involved in the so-called bid wars. They place the lowest rates and hope to attract the customer by such low prices. And these tactics, it just doesn't work. Let me explain why. First of all, keep in mind that you are a standalone freelancer. You have only 24 hours in every single day. You cannot act like big agencies do. You cannot take projects at low prices and do many of those one by one. You have to sell your services at high rates, and you have to take less projects. And please don't get me wrong here. I do not tell you to set up a bid of 100 USD per hour for every project. I just tell you not to place the bids that are lower than the market average. You have to value your time and your services. Second, my experience shows that the lower prices a client is ready to pay, the more problematic the project will be for you. Typically, such customers don't have much budgets and they are ready to fight for every single cent. They will send you dozens, if not hundreds, of bugs to fix. They will literally suck your soul out for every single penny, for every single cent. So you will eventually have to spend much more time on such a customer, and you will eventually earn less than you expected. Also, my experience shows that setting up a long-term partnership with such clients is very unlikely. You won't be able to work for them for a long time, and you will just have to pay higher fees to Upwork. And also, such tactics, it just simply destroys the market. Setting up a lower bid, giving a discount for your services is the easiest thing that practically anyone can do. So, and if everybody starts doing this, if everybody will place low bids, freelancers with good experience, freelancers that can do a really qualified job, they just won't be able to get projects, and the whole market will simply turn into real shit. Now, the third and the last worst habit for every freelancer is being afraid to fire a customer. I'm talking about picky customers that send you tons of different errors to fix, and once they send you a very long list of bug fixes, and once you implement these fixes, don't think that you'll be able to get away so easily. After the first package of fixes, they will send you the new one and again, and you will eventually have to spend much more time on implementing these fixes and for negotiation rather than for the job itself. Typically, such customers tend to send very long lists of small bugs and errors, and you may even think that these errors are not so significant. So with every new package, you will get more and more annoyed. You will just let down some of the fixes. You just won't implement everything that they require of you. You will get more and more annoyed, and so will be the customer. So, and both of you will get annoyed eventually. And the more energy, the more negative emotions you spend on a person, the more difficult it will be for you to give it up. So once you see that a customer sends you a very long list of errors, of course, for the first time, you may try to fix them. But if it repeats, just simply give it up. Just end the contract. The best phrase, what I usually say to such customers is that, well, I see that we cannot come to a conclusion at this point, so I suggest that we end our contract and just finish our work. After you say this to the customer, simply end the contract and give a refund. The good thing with Upwork here is that if you give a refund and if you do not take a single cent from the customer's payment, he won't be able to give a negative feedback to you, and thus your reputation will stay white and fluffy. So these are the worst 3 habits that every freelancer should avoid at all means. I understand that it may be difficult for you at the beginning to reject the customers from the adjacent areas. It may be difficult to say no to a project where you think that you may be good at, but if you're not sure, if you haven't worked in this area before, just simply do not take this project. Reject it. I understand it may be difficult, but please just increase your expertise in one single area that you select. Once you get a big expertise, once you become a really good expert in this area, increase your prices. Be a good expert. Get the price that you are worth. And do not spend your time on customers that really suck your life out of you with multiple errors and bug fixes. Learn to spot such customers and learn to say no to them. I hope you have found this video useful. I wish you good customers, higher earnings, and very high expertise. Feel free to like this video, share, and subscribe.